and welcome to our flip video lesson 3.04, Islam Emerges. And the recording links will be posted here as soon as we finish with the recording. Learning lesson objectives, there's lots of them today. Compare and contrast Islam with other major world religions. Describe the events that led to Muhammad's rule over Mecca as the holy city of Islam. Identify the Quran as the sacred text of Islam. Summarize the 5 pillars of Islam. Define Caliph and Jihad. Describe the importance and results of trade in the Muslim Empire. Identify Abu Bakr as the first Caliph and Muhammad's friend and father-in-law and the conflicts during his rule that led to a split in Islam. Sorry, that shouldn't be a second bullet point there. List ways in which Islam spread, and then on a map, trace the growth of the Muslim Empire. We can't possibly fit all of these objectives in this flip video lesson, so it's going to be super important that you are completing your readings today to kind of tie all this information together. So, introduction, the Muslim faith, student guide, questions, pages 378 to 382, and then you will also have to flip back to pages 168 and 169 to fill in your comparing religions chart. Important vocabulary to understand this lesson, and then Human Odyssey reading pages 466 to 471. Introduction, Islam Emerges. Muhammad's teachings were gathered into a book known as the Quran. Like the Bible, it is very long and takes years of study to know well, but the main duties that Muhammad wanted every Muslim to obey were summarized in the 5 pillars of Islam. And you can go ahead and open your student guide to page 379. How did the people, this is question number 1 on page 379. How did the people of Medina receive Muhammad? The people of Medina welcomed Muhammad. Many listened eagerly to his message and became followers. Question number 2. What is the Quran? The Quran is the sacred book of Islam. And remember, at any point in time, you can always pause this video to fill in those answers or to check your answers that you've already done. Question number 3. What laws did Muhammad give the people to help them live together? Muhammad gave his followers rules based on messages he received from Allah. He told the Muslims when to pray and when to fast, and fast meaning not eat. He also, or drink, and sometimes there's some variation on that. He also set forth rules for marriage and carrying on business. There were also laws for regulating slavery and helping the poor. Question number 4. Why didn't most Jews and Christians follow Muhammad? Christians believed that Jesus Christ was the Son of God. They were awaiting his return. They felt they didn't need to heed the commands of the prophet from Mecca. The Jews had been following their own laws for more than 1,000 years. They followed laws which they believed came from Abraham, Moses, and God. Question number 5. Describe the events that led to Muhammad's rule over Mecca as the holy city of Islam. To get things his followers needed, Muhammad began sending men into the desert to raid enemy caravans traveling to and from Mecca. The leaders of Mecca were not very happy about these raids. The results were several long years of war between Medina and Mecca. In the year 630, that would be AD, Muhammad marched on Mecca with 10,000 soldiers and took it with very little resistance. He led his followers 7 times around the Kaaba. He emptied the Kaaba of all idols and declared the place would now be a sacred shrine to Allah. Muhammad proclaimed Mecca the holiest city in Islam and swore that only Muslims would be allowed to enter its gates. There's a lot there to absorb and write down. So again, if you need to pause the video, you can always do that. Question number 6. How did Muhammad change the lives and ideas of Arabs? He replaced polytheistic beliefs with monotheistic religion. He gave people laws to obey every day of their lives. He taught that all Muslims should unite and consider themselves brothers instead of fighting among themselves. And then here we come to the 5 pillars of Islam, and you can go ahead and look in your book on page 370 or 381. It's separated out there into the 5 pillars: the first pillar, second pillar, third pillar, fourth pillar, and 5th pillar. So you can go ahead and take a quick pause and fill that out. So the first pillar, the declaration of faith, all Muslims must profess their faith in Allah, and they must say that they believe that Muhammad is Allah's prophet. The second pillar is prayer. All Muslims must wash themselves and turn towards Mecca to pray 5 times a day. The third pillar, giving to the poor. Muslims should help people in need by giving alms to the local community, money, animals, or grain given freely. Alms is basically giving what you have without any type of wanting payback, giving what you earn. The fourth pillar, fasting. Muslims are required to fast. During the month of Ramadan, Muslims cannot eat, drink, or smoke from before sunrise until after sunset. The fifth pillar, the pilgrimage to Mecca. At least once before they die, Muslims must try to make a pilgrimage to Mecca and visit the Kaaba. And so again, you can always pause this video if you need to fill these in. This next section that we're going to go to here is comparing religions and philosophies. And you've seen these slides before. After we study each religion or philosophy, we go ahead and fill in the chart that pertains to that certain religion or philosophy. So you should already have Confucianism, Hinduism, Buddhism, Judaism, Christianity, and now we are on to Islam. These slides will be in the PDF, so if you need to go back and fill in any of these, you can, but you should already have all of those filled in. You should just have Islam that you still need to fill in. So who founded it? Muhammad. When was it founded? AD 622 or earlier, early 7th century, sorry. What are the principal beliefs? Muslims should submit their lives and thoughts to the will of Allah. Also, Muslims should follow the 5 pillars of Islam. What are the principal sacred texts, or text? The Quran. In which geographic regions does Islam predominate today? East Africa, North Africa, Western Asia, and Indonesia. That doesn't mean it's not in other parts of the world, but it predominantly means where it's most prevalent. And then roughly how many followers of Islam are there in the world today? More than 1 billion. And so after you fill that information in, you can always, look through your chart, and then you can compare the religions, and you will need to know that for your assessment. So do make sure that chart is completed and filled in. Vocabulary is key to understanding comprehension. So a few kind of review words that we've already gone over, and a few new. Quran is the sacred book of Islam. A mosque is a Muslim place of worship. Caliph is the title for Muslim rulers after the death of Muhammad. And Islam is a religion based on the teachings of Muhammad. Reading is key to understanding comprehension. As I said at the beginning of this lesson, it is important that you do complete your readings. Reading pages 466 to 471 will kind of tie all of this information together that we're talking about here in the flip video. And then we come to our quote section. Religion is a way of walking, not a way of talking. And that was said by Dean William R. Inge. And thank you so much for joining me today. Never stop learning, because life never stops teaching. Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That is why we call it the present. Have an amazing day.